Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, September 24th. We're looking at the market profile of the SPY ETF here on Window Trader. And what another wild day. Fantastic day. Very good day in the trading room. A great educational day in the trading room to tell you what happened, why it happened, to keep people out of trouble, things of that nature. Basically, we closed not far above half back from today. We have a new $4 range. You could even call it a $2 range yesterday and today. But very interesting. And if people aren't being educated the proper way, they have no idea what happened, why it happened today. So let's get to what happened today. So after yesterday, I said I was looking for consolidation. Well, we didn't get that initially. We gapped lower, right? We gapped lower. So we opened below balance, below value, and we took out the previous balance low. All that happened, though, afterwards, right? They pushed down. Now remember, just remember, from I period on yesterday, all last night, all this morning in A period, what is the market? Short. I didn't tell anybody to buy it down there. We got very, very close to those two visual areas that I said are going to be probably taken out. And they probably still will be taken out. It's just a matter of when. We got down to 16 cents above one weekly low and 50 cents above another one. And we found buyers there for the first time. But more importantly, once we got back above the opening, what happened? Remember how important the opening is? I don't know. Now, again, I don't know the opening is not going to be revisited after A period that early. But I can tell you what. Once the opening got accepted, once we got back into M's range, once we got above the price probe, guess what? Everybody who's short is getting nervous. And when B took out A's high, woof, just like throwing a match in a tub of gasoline. All this was all the shorts from last night running for the door. That's all it was. Because look what happened afterwards. And I'll go over my trades in a minute, but afterwards, what did they do? They alleviated a lot of the pressure in the pressure valve from it. We went right back down again. But look what happened. Look at this nuance. Couldn't get the opening. Something changed. And then we went up in D, E, and then once again they tried, right? Then we got up. I was looking for an afternoon pullback low. I'll get into that in a minute. I didn't get involved in G because I thought we'd get more out of it to the downside. I was looking for C's high at the time and C or A's high. So I didn't get that. And then they tried the same thing again. People, longs get out, they get short, we go back again. Got to fill the single prints, never got the last set, and couldn't get to the F's low, which is the lower part of the upper distribution from yesterday. So what happened? Well, these longs in H and I, once J took out that short, game over. So let me go over my trades. That's all this is. This is short. There's no long-term traders in this market. Volume today is 75 million. Yesterday we did 91 with the after hours. We're not going to do 91, but we should get the average of about 79, 80. So still decent. This isn't short-term, long-term plays. They stopped at such visual points today. We stopped right above two weekly lows. We made pit stops at every visual point for a while, especially up here. So in A period, I did take a short, looking to see if we were going to take the weekly lows out once we opened. Didn't get it, so I come back in, back up, took them off. I did the 323 puts. Everything's for tomorrow. Then I took another put right below the opening, saying, well, let's see if we defend the opening, go back down and get those weekly lows. And believe me, they're going to get taken out, especially if today becomes a weekly low. They're too close together to stay like that. They have a target on their back. Well, I took that short. We got above A, held on to it. I did not add. Got into M's range. I'm saying that's it. Took it off. I lost on that short. Then in B period, I took a long. Once we popped the top, I said, odds are we're going to go get M's high. Took the 322 calls. Wrote it up, took those off. Now, once I took those off, B just kept absolutely exploding. we're talking about B's high was probably around 10:05, 10:08 of the time frame. I'm like, this is going too far, too fast. Yeah, we filled the singles. I think we shouldn't test these set of singles yet. So I took a put play. I said, we're stretched out. I bought the 325 puts. It rolled back in for a nice trade. I did nothing in C. Right? Now, C, we didn't have single prints, right? We had a chance for a trend day today. A couple of times early on. It looked like B was going to have singles. They never did. It looked like F might have singles. Never did. We had singles in H. They failed. So, I didn't do anything in C. Didn't do anything in D. E period. I'm like, well, they might not take the high out in B period just yet. So I took a short in E. It got up to actually I took the short. I'm trying to remember when I did. I took it right against L and M's high because we had gotten below. I'm like, well, let's see if we get back. It was a quick short. It did come back. I made money on that, but then as you can see, we did get closer to B's high. Now, G period. G opened. We had singles right away. They were small. I took a short right away. I'm like, those singles are not going to last. 326 puts. Fill them. J period. Now, again, I was looking for an afternoon pullback low. Once we took out the low and started coming in, got out of the puts, like I said earlier in the video, I was hoping to see C, at least C's high and half. Oh, no, it wasn't half back at the time. C's high or maybe A's high. Didn't happen, and then it really reversed pretty hard, so I missed that long. That's fine. Now, H shoots up, I shoots up. A lot of people in my room took shorts. I said, the only reason I'm not shorting, right? I shorted B, I shorted E, and I shorted G because we kept coming in. I said, this has a little different feel to it, especially in I, because singles are holding right now. I did have a very good trade location to take one. I could have shorted around I's high, and I could have gotten out if we filled the last set of singles and got accepted into F's range. It was good risk reward, but I didn't take it. So a lot of people in the room took it. They knew they're out. We talked about it. What I did in J period, when J opened, I could have taken a short right away. It took out I's high by a couple of pennies, went back up. I'm like, okay, now I feel more comfortable. We stopped the one-time framing up, took the short, came down. I certainly got out of it too soon. It came down and got out of them. Now, again, I'm in 8 or 10 tick increments. But I took a 75 lot, so it was a nice size lot, and it came in, filled the single prints, and I got out probably somewhere around H's low. Very nice trade. Now, so now I tell the room, is that all they want to do, right? Because I'm thinking G is the afternoon pullback. I'm like, well, maybe that's all they want to do. So that's another reason I got out of it around H's low. But obviously, that wasn't right. J went down. K tried to go up, go down. So I'm like, okay, great. Once K took out J, I'm like, we're most likely going to take out G's low. And then I'll look for a long. Because I still think all this will be is these longs, weak longs getting out and shorts pushing down. So I did not buy until late in K, when K really flushed out, looking for the afternoon pullback low. L opened, I bought 25 contracts, 25 or 30 to start. L opened, came right to K's low. I bought 75 more. I was long 100 calls, and then L popped up pretty nicely. Took off the add-ons right away. I took the 75 off for a pretty penny, like 25, 30 cents worth of each contract. I came back in. I'm like, you know what? This isn't holding well. It took out K's low, came back in, and it didn't flush yet. And then each time it came right back into where I was in the money, I finally took them off. I'm like, nope, it looks like we're going lower. Got out of them for a nice trade. L flushed, M flushed. Now, I didn't do anything. Didn't do anything in L. M period, I told the room I'm looking for two extremes to even think about taking a trade. I'm looking for M to push, test 21st low, possibly test C's low in the opening, hold the opening or get right back above it, then I would take a long. Or M pushes higher and gets to around B's high. It got close to it, didn't get there far enough for me, so I never took the long, never took the put. If I took it here, the long or the short here would have made an awesome trade on both of them. But on a day like today, excuse me, on a day like today when your ranges are so far and wide, and I had a very good day, if I get in too early, so say I buy even 20 calls or 30 calls here, this is still 60 cents from the opening. If that goes in my face, I'm going to get hurt pretty good on 30 calls. Same thing up here. If I take the put play here, now this was a little well, not really. M's high is 28, B's high is 65. It's still about 35, 40 cents away. So I want to be very, very picky. After I had a good day and M is very unpredictable, I want to be very picky when I take that trade. Now, I was right? The calls, what I was looking for was good. I don't want to be a buyer or seller inside of this mess. But at an extreme level, where I know my out is the low or my out is above B's high or value high, that's good trade location. So what? I didn't take it. And value, by the way, was lower all day, then got pulled up to overlap into lower by a good amount, finishes lower. So who won today? Well, buyer's going to say, well, you gapped lower, and we took back the whole lower distribution. We won. And seller's going to say, you didn't win anything because all you did was trade for the most part. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I told my room this. Look at the way we stretched HI. Look at the way we stretched A. Look where we traded all day. Look where all the volume is. It's all inside M's range yesterday. These are just outliers. Isn't that amazing how M period is so important the next day? People in our room are great. They're learning this. I tell you, it's a no-brainer to come join us at camelbacktrading.org. All right. Tomorrow we're going to have, it's going to be hitting a golf ball inside a racquetball court. We're going to be all over the place because the only thing we have is the high and the low. 326.80 is our first destination on the upside. Then 327.02, filling the single prints at 12 cents. And then 328.73 afternoon rally high. And 331.20 daily high, which is the high of our 4-day balance now. Here's your 4-day balance, folks. Right here. Here's the high of it. Here's the low of it. Okay? On the downside, 319.80, today's low. 319.64 weekly low. 319.25 weekly low. They will all get blasted out if we take out today's low. 319.09 daily low, poor low. That also will go. 317.67 price probe from July 14th, which was incredibly, incredibly important because we tested it the next day and then never saw it again and went up to 358, $41 move. So that's an important level. 314.52 afternoon pullback low and then 312 weekly low, which if you don't hold that price probe that I'm talking about, you'll see that. Okay. I'm sorry, I just talk all day and then I do this video. Now, I know this is long again, but again, I think it's very helpful. I hope it is. Here are the charts. Monthly. What do we have? 4 days left in a month? Yep, 4 days left in a month. Mark this down, 327.73. If we do not close above 327.73 next Wednesday, I guess, that's trouble for the bulls. Outside month, down, if that's the case. Weekly, we are down. We've defended these two weekly lows barely today. So whatever happens tomorrow, at some point, I don't know when it will be, but at some point, I don't see these three lows standing. Daily. The only reason I'm still calling it balance and not down is because we closed pretty firmly into Monday's low, right? By almost $2. So instead of using Friday as a part of the balance, I'm using all this week as a 4-day balance. Right? You get above it, we see the 50. You get below it, we blow through those two weekly lows, wherever the heck they are, right here. And then guess what the next big destination is? This one. Wait, I'm sorry. Where is it? Where's the 312 low? Right here, 312. So, Pretty important stuff going forward. Expect volatility. Every day closer to the earnings. Every day closer with earnings starting. And with these huge ranges. I hope you had a great day trading. Have a great night. And we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.